quick early morning interruption to let you know that this vlog is all over the place. It's got bad audio, it's got really bad camera angles, like really bad camera angles, and if you want to just skip to me talking about my thoughts at the very end, I will put a timestamp for you to do that. But if you do want to see my nose a lot and hear how loud my car Jane is and hear me discuss about how difficult it is to listen to audiobooks in my really loud car. Hang on, I gotta let my cat in. What was that? Come here. Yeah, come on. Anyway, basically, this is not my highest quality video, but it was an experiment video in a lot of ways. Come over here. Dusty makes an appearance at the end as well, so please stay till the end. I would appreciate it if you watch the whole video. If the sound really gets to you, don't worry about it. I'm currently editing it. I'm trying to tweak it to where it will not be as annoying, but that's not going well. So just know that going in. I do hope you enjoy it, and that's it. Back to the video.
Sorry for the horrible camera angle. I rushed to put my camera up at a stoplight and it turned green as I was trying to do it, so I've just kind of thrown you up there. Also, apologies if you can't hear me. My car is very loud, but I'm just coming on to tell you that this video is dedicated to me trying out an audiobook. If you've been around for a while, then you know that I don't read audiobooks. We used to listen to them when I was a kid in car rides and such, as you do. But as I've gotten older, I've always felt like I can't focus on them as enough to feel like I could justify saying that I did read it, because it would just turn into background noise and not me actually paying attention. So I'd listen to music, and I'd sometimes listen to podcasts, and the podcasts are what got me thinking that maybe I could get back into audiobooks. And so this is me attempting that. I am currently somewhere outside of Caldwell, Texas. I am heading home for the weekend to see my friends Anna and Lindy and to mow my lawn. And I figured now was as good a time as any to test out an audiobook. So the audiobook that I have chosen is You Don't Look Your Age and Other Fairy Tales by Sheila Nevins. And I originally planned to do this video. I didn't originally plan to do it right now. I actually decided to do it this morning. And so I was looking on the Libby app trying to find an audiobook, and I was originally going to do a young adult book because I figured that'd kind of be the best way to get me into audiobooks. So I was looking through those, and I found some, but most of the ones I found that I was interested in were already checked out, and so I would just put myself on hold for them. So then I'm already driving, and I realized, you know what, I should just find something. So I opened up Libby at a stoplight. Safe driving, guys. And one of the first books that popped up was this one, and it has a pretty green cover with a mirror on it, and I was like, you know what, it sounds like it's an anthology of short stories. That's probably a great thing to read as an audiobook, because you can pause it multiple times without worrying about losing your place quite as much. So we're just gonna go for it. So I have no clue what this book is about, but it's narrated by multiple people, which I'm very excited about. I have listened to the first short story already, and I really enjoyed it, because one thing that happened is the way the narrator spoke made the story seem sad and also scary in a way, but scary in a non-Halloween way. Scary in a this could be your future and this is people's current thought process kind of scary. One thing that I noticed a lot is how she'd emphasize some words, and sometimes I could tell that that's probably not a word I would have emphasized if I were reading the book physically, but I like that she did that in the narration. So far, this is pretty good. I will say, my car is very loud. Apologies for that again. Apologies for that as well. So I do have to turn it up pretty loud, but so far, we're doing good. I am only one short story in, but I did enjoy that one short story. I will talk to you again later, hopefully from a better angle. So please, join me on this adventure, and we'll see how this goes.
She disembarked at the Peninsula Hotel, dropped her bag, and rushed to the rooftop.
Someone please tell me why this is giving me major Grace and Frankie vibe. I can honestly see this as being the book version of Grace and Frankie. If you haven't seen Grace and Frankie, it's a TV show. I can hold you up down out of light. It's a TV show. That's zoomed in. There we go. It's a TV show on Netflix, and it's really good. And I'm gonna have to put you down again because we're moving again, so bye. As I was saying, it's a TV show on Netflix, and it's about these two old ladies. And so far this book is about old ladies. Okay, so I just finished the second one, and it ended on like a cliffhanger, and I'm upset. I want to know what happens. And it just stopped and switched to another one. How dare it? Just finished the third one. That one was really short. I feel like I had just updated about the second one, and then I finished listening to the third one. So I'm curious to see how short it looks in the book, because, oh, that's not a good angle, sorry guys, because listening to it took hardly any time at all. But I have to say, I am really liking how it's switching narrators each short story, especially because the voices seem to match the characters really well, and I like that little aspect to it. I don't know, it adds a little something. It gives it some extra character, and so I do like that. I will say I kind of miss not being able to read it, but I'm also not that upset by it because I'm really liking all the narrators. Once again, apologies for the angles, lad. We're working with what we've got. I'm trying to be a safe driver, okay? So far though, I would recommend this book, and that's where we stand. I just listened to the one called like Chocolate Chemo or something, and listen, this book's kind of sad. It's kind of melancholy, and I guess maybe that just comes with the subject matter, but it's not exactly making me happy. I'm enjoying it. I'm interested and invested. I still think some of them are surprisingly short, so I am very curious to see what this book does look like in print. But so far, I am loving being read this, so I'm definitely enjoying it. However, it's making me sad. So this audiobook has a lot of music transitions when it switches between stories. This is one of them, and I liked it. So I figured I'd grab the camera out. Now we're gonna pause it. But yeah, just listen to another one. They all seem to have a more, I don't know if I'd say serious tone. They don't all. So I guess here's the thing. They're all very real. And so that makes some of them low-key kind of scary. Some of them melancholy. Some of them you just kind of sit and listen and just try and process. So am I enjoying this book? Yes. But is it one that I think I'm going to just gush about all the time? Not really, just because it's not that kind of a book for me, but I do think that this is a very good book. And I am really liking listening to it as an audiobook. I will say though, part of me wonders if the reason I am liking this audiobook so much is because it does switch narrators, and if I read an audiobook that was more normal, would I like that one as well? So that's food for thought. But I am nearing the end of my drive, so maybe the next time you see me, it'll be another day. Maybe it'll be the same day. Who knows? But that's where we are now. So I just finished the one that has Jeremy in the title. Okay. I am so glad I listened to this one instead of reading it, because hearing the author be on the verge of tears made it horrible, but in a good way, you know? Hang on, I gotta get the mail. Because hearing her just talk in that tone, like just like the words enough would have been tear-jerky, but hearing her voice break gets you. So it's a very sad book. Hello, today is Sunday, the 15th of September. Oh shoot. Well, we'll just go with it. I haven't really listened to much of my audiobook over the weekend because I went and spent the night at a friend's house who was going off to Italy for the semester. What an idiot. I went home, I weeded for my mom, watched a movie. You've got mail. I'm gonna try and fix this. Anyway, we watched a movie. I saw my friend again. Shoot! This might not work, guys. Basically, I'm about where I used to be in my book, and I'm going to start listening to it again on the drive home, and I will keep you updated. That's all we're gonna go with. goodbye, I'll see you later.
So I feel like we should just continue the trend of clips where there's weird lighting and you can't really see my face much, because I can tell from the viewfinder that this is one of those clips. And I realized that I never finished documenting my reading of this audiobook when I did finish the audiobook. So earlier in the week I finished You Don't Look Your Age and Other Fairy Tales, and it was absolutely fantastic. I think I finished it like Monday after this past week, and I'm pretty sure the last time I updated you was Sunday. So I finished it pretty soon after my last update, but this week has been absolutely ridiculous and I just haven't been in the mood to update. But I have a free second. I realized I hadn't done it. I figured I might as well. Today's Saturday, the 21st. A&M just played Auburn. We lost. It was very sad the way we lost, because we should have won. We were projected to win. It was like 60% we were supposed to win, and Mon needs to get his head in the game, basically. And I went to Northgate for a little bit, but now I'm back home because I'm going to sleep and try and recover from this past week. But now we're gonna talk about the book. Basically, I loved this book, but I also feel like that I might not have loved it as much if I had read it, because part of the reason I loved it so much was the different narrators. I debated what to mark it on GOODREADS for like star ratings. I was going between a 4 and a 5, and I couldn't really figure out which one I wanted to do. I went with a 5 because of the narration, and I'm pretty certain that if I had just read the book, it would have been like a 4-star book. But the different voices and the way it was narrated in the audiobook and the musical sound effects, and that one where the narrator will like read the story and then go, oh, that's funny, and just like put in her own commentary, all of that made it a 5-star book. So in a way, I feel like what makes it a 5-star book is the audiobook, which is very interesting because, as you know from this video, the whole point of me making this video is the fact that I'm not really an audiobook listener, but here I am giving a book 5 stars instead of 4 stars because I listened to it in an audiobook and I just fell in love with the narration. Now, I did also start, what was it called? Bookish Boyfriends, A Date with Mr. Darcy. So with that and Pride, I was on loan for both of those, and they both came in like Monday or Tuesday. And so when I finished the Sheila Nevins book, I figured I'd go ahead and start one of them, and I went ahead and started the not Pride and Prejudice, Mr. Darcy. They're both like Pride and Prejudice related. A Date with Mr. Darcy one, because I felt like it was kind of the next step. Like if I was going to listen to a story where there was most likely just one narrator, I should listen to the kind of story where I don't really have to pay as much attention. And Pride felt like it was probably one where you wanted to pay a little more attention because it's like a Pride and Prejudice retelling. I'm not quite sure what the Date with Mr. Darcy one is. And admittedly, I only gave it like 4 minutes maybe. So I didn't give it a fair fighting chance. But it was just, I was on my way to class. It's not that long of a drive, and I figured I might as well play it. I didn't have that same hook at the beginning that I had with You Don't Look Your Age, so I just haven't been listening to it. But also I just haven't been doing much of anything this week, so that's also like not the book's fault. Basically, I feel like I might do another one of these kinds of videos, but listen to a book where, I guess I should say, a more traditional audiobook, because correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't a traditional audiobook just like one person narrating the whole book and doing all of the different voices by themselves? Like I'm pretty sure that most audiobooks don't have different narrators, and I guess it's also a little different because I read short stories and not like a novel. So I feel like even though this was a test of me reading an audiobook, I somehow managed to pick a really good audiobook to read. So I feel very lucky in that sense, and I feel like I need to put it a little more to the test, you know? Like I was almost too perfect. It seems too good to be true. So that's the plan. Will I read A Date with Mr. Darcy? I don't know. Will I read Pride? I don't know. I don't know if I want to read a book that I don't plan on reading and then listen to it on an audiobook as a way to get me to read it, or if I should read a book that I do want to read, but then instead of like physically read it, listen to it in an audiobook form, because I'm curious if the factoring in of me actually wanting to read the book and actually caring about the book will change the way I feel about the audiobook. My theory is, and I guess this is kind of a pessimistic theory, but my theory is that if I have the book on my TBR already and like one that I actively want to read and not just one that I heard about and thought it sounded interesting and then put it on my TBR to kind of like put it on my radar. Hey, yeah, come over here. Dusty's here. She's grumpy that I was gone all afternoon. What was I saying? Basically, if it's a book that I like actually care about, I feel like I wouldn't like the audiobook because I am so used to reading books physically, and I feel like it would change my opinion of the book negatively. Whereas if I read a book that either I've never really heard about and just chose, like this one was, or if it is on my TBR but not one that I'm like actively like, okay, I need to read this soon, or if it's just a book that like I've heard of, thought it might be interesting but didn't even bother putting on my TBR. Like if it's on that kind of a spectrum, then I feel like I might like the audiobook more because I don't have any expectations for the book itself. Is that making sense? I had a flaming Dr. Pepper shot earlier, so I might not be making sense. Also though, it wasn't just the narrators, like you're reading the different voices, that was really great. The stories were really great too, but I will say it was a very melancholy book and I wasn't quite expecting it to be. I wasn't expecting it to be like a happity-uppity book, but I wasn't expecting it to be as serious. Well, not serious, but just as melancholy as it was. Like there were some stories that weren't even exactly meant to be sad, I felt like, but they just were because of the subject matter. And it was just a really good book. Insightful, entertaining, and I really enjoyed it. And I do feel like that I would have also really enjoyed it had I read a physical copy, but I definitely would say that the reason that I like it so much right now is because of the narration and because I listen to it. And that to me is really cool because I'm not an audiobook person, yet here's this audiobook that I am in love with. So that's the wrap up to this video. I hope you enjoy whatever I've come up with for this. If you are also not really an audiobook person, I hope you give them a try. I am still going to continue giving them a try. I'll probably still document it. I might not, we'll see. But if you are kind of dipping your toe into the audiobook world, I highly recommend starting with You Don't Look Your Age and Other Fairy Tales. So that's it for this video. Comment down below and let me know your favorite audiobook, and let me know of an audiobook that you think I would like that is more on the what I perceive as the traditional side, where it's like one narrator and they read you the story. Let me know your suggestions. Also comment down below and let me know how your football team did this weekend. Mine did not do so hot. Mon needs to get his head in the game. He's like a deer in the headlights and it's so sad and a little bit pathetic. But yeah, let me know how your football team did. Unless you're from TU, then I don't want to know. And on that note, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I will see y'all again in another one soon. Are you ready for bed, Dusty?